Welcome to the ETV News YouTube channel. I'm Tyler Madden, and joining me here now is Eastern's Director of Health Services, Dr. Joseph Breton. Dr. Breton, thank you for joining me here today.
Great to be here.
So I wanted to first start off with getting your reaction to the email that was sent out to students yesterday talking about classes are going to be moving to an online format. Your reaction to that?
It's a very good move. It will protect the students and the faculty. And we are up and running, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of work behind that with IT, getting this to make sure that it's going to work well for the students.
Could you talk to me a little bit about the decision-making process? I know we saw a lot of schools in the state making the decision earlier in the week. Talk about those factors that went into deciding to close down the campus and going to those online classes.
Yeah, as you know, the coronavirus is a moving target. It's a very gray area. The administration had met, we had all gotten together, the department heads, and there's a lot of people involved in this. It's not just one person making the decision. We are really, again, looking at the safety of the students. We don't have enough information on how this is going to go, so we're going on the side of caution. And everyone is involved in the decision process. And we're looking at other universities, we're looking at the history of what happened in China, we're looking at what they're doing in Italy, and we're making our best practice from what has been done previously.
So kind of taking a few steps back, can you tell me a little bit about how the virus spreads, coronavirus, how it spreads from person to person?
So right now, you know, respiratory is the main cause. There's been a couple of studies I read that it looks like it's also fecal, so that it potentially is going through water systems, fecal matter. So those are the two main causes on how it's spread right now.
Can you talk about how it may impact certain groups of people more than others?
So highest risk, and if you've seen some of the graphs that are out there, we see that the very young seem to be protected. The college student, high school, very low risk, and then the risk markedly increases as we get older. So over 60 and especially over the age of 80. Those are your high risk groups, and anyone with an underlying medical condition.
With all those concerns in mind, there's been multiple events that have been canceled here on campus. When I've been talking with students about it, you have a group that's kind of saying that it's good to take those precautions, and there's also a group of people that are saying it's a little bit of an over-exaggeration. They feel, what is your message to some of those people a little bit skeptical about all of these plans and events being canceled?
So should administration and all of us make that right decision, I can tell you that in a month or 2 months or a year, should we have no bad outcomes, everyone is going to say, see, you overreacted. If we do the job perfectly, then we will be labeled as overreacting. The reality is we don't know how bad this is going to be. So why roll the dice, especially with the community that we have here on campus? Why would we take that risk and not be prepared or downplay it and then start having bad outcomes? We're going to be wrong either way, right? We're going to anger certain groups either way. I'd rather anger the group and be labeled that we did too much as opposed to we didn't do enough and then we have bad outcomes.
So throughout the last few weeks, travel has been a major concern for people. And spring break coming up this week, I know that students are going to be traveling. How can students here at Eastern safely travel? Is that possible?
Excellent question. You know, I remember what it's like to be 20 and invincible, right? I'm going to go. I don't care what anyone says. Of course, the recommendation is no travel. I know that's very difficult, especially if you have tickets. If you are going to travel, then it's all the basic things that everyone already knows. Hand washing, try to avoid close contact with people, social distancing, almost impossible on a plane. And that's why we're trying to tell people not to travel, especially if you're going to those hot spots like Fort Lauderdale and Vegas, where there's going to be a lot of people. There's no 100% safe way to travel. That's why we want people to stay home. But should you be traveling, you can buy your $40 of Perel, $180 bottle now. So yeah, you should carry it with you.
You've seen the prices on that stuff go tremendously over the last few days and few weeks. So what's the overall message to students, whether they're concerned or not concerned about the coronavirus?
So for right now, it is so important to just consider what we've seen. You know, we've seen that this virus can kill people, right? It has, approximately 0.2% rate of death with it. My advice is let's prepare for the worst for this, right? And should it just pass and go by and everyone's safe, good for us. I really think it's important, though, not to downplay it at this point, because we're dealing with something that is new, right? We're all somewhat unprepared as a country, as a nation for this. And I think it's best just to be on the side of caution for now. And hopefully next year you can travel all over the world again.
Now, we're once again joined by Dr. Joseph Breton of Eastern's Health Services. Thank you again for taking the time to come down and talk with us.
You're welcome. It was great to be here.